Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the new edition of the Fight Republic. I'm really excited about this segment. I'm calling it the UFC Emperor. I'm basically calling out in advance that Conor McGregor is the future UFC Emperor. And for this reason, what's an empire? It's a group of countries or titles, in this case, all under one single authority or ruler, which to me, it's going to be McGregor. Not only is he going to win the new lightweight title, he's also going to go after the welterweight title, and I'm calling it right here that he's going to have all three titles. We don't have Lavish Linebacker today with us. Yesterday was Valentine's Day, and that's a whole nother story. He's worn out, so anyways, guys, you know what I'm talking about. But I'm honored, and it's a pleasure to introduce my special guests, the fabled Hecklers. We have them right here. We have the Natural, and we have our other special guest crew. Okay, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get this going. We're first going to talk about my thoughts on this. The number one question I'm getting from everybody is for my prediction. I'm notorious for my predictions. I don't give them too often. I keep it on the down low, and I'll mention things here and there, but I never give out a straight out prediction. A few times that I have done it, I've nailed it. I predicted Cain Velasquez when he was going to lose. He lost. I predicted when Ronda Rousey was going to lose. She lost, because I pick apart the fighters. I look at I'm a numerics guy. I'm an analytics guy. I look at speed. I look at power. I look at strength. I look at every single thing and what can possibly happen. But then the most important crucial factor becomes the mind, and I've been studying the mind since I was a little kid, and I know the effects of having a weak mind and a strong mind. So anyways, let's get down to this. I'm going to begin by talking about the size factor here and what we're looking at, what they call tail of the tape. Conor McGregor, obviously from Dublin, Ireland, age 27, decent age, 5'9". Rafael Dos Santos, also 5'9". Both weighing are going to have to weigh there at the 155 pounds approximately. The reach there, Conor McGregor has him 74 inches versus Rafael Dos Santos 71. Conor McGregor has 19 wins, 17 by KO, which means he has an 89% KO rate. He has one submission. So what does that tell us? Conor McGregor doesn't go to the ground too often. He has one decision. His only two losses were by submission. So that's something that you should note. On the other hand, let's go to Rafael Dos Santos. He's like I said, he's 5'9". His reach is 3 inches shorter than McGregor's. That could be a factor if it's a stand-up game. Let's now look at this very important factor. Rafael Dos Santos is a third-degree black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So, on the ground, very dangerous. He's also a black Prajed in Muay Thai, so the boy can kick and he can somewhat hit too. He has some power there. But then I go, okay, well, let's look at his numbers. He has 25 wins, 5 by KO. So how much power does he actually have? Well, 5 KOs is not bad, but out of 25 wins, only 5 KOs, at least something to question. Now here's the thing: submissions. He has 8. So 1/3 of his wins have been by submission. He's saying that this fight is not going to go past the second or third. So now there's a contradiction there. A guy that does a lot of submissions is calling out a finish. So, well, we'll see what happens. He has 12 decisions in his losses. There's certain things that we have to note. He's only been knocked out once. He's only been submitted once. So he's not a guy that's easy to put away. He doesn't really get submitted, and he's only been knocked out once. So, and he's lost 5 by decision. So those are the numbers as far as that's concerned. Hecklers, do you have any comments right now? We're going to stick to this certain topic regarding their records and what they've done thus far.
Well, I think the first thing that stands out is Conor McGregor being submitted twice. I think we're all just waiting for Conor to get taken down and see what kind of ground he's got. If RDA doesn't take him down to the ground, then pretty much Conor's going to win the stand-up game. I'm a crusader for the truth, and I just believe it's all conspiracy. They put up guys who will not take him to the ground so his winning streak can continue.
Okay, do you think that it sounds to me like if I'm Rafael Dos Santos, I do everything in my power to take this fight to the ground, because the only 2 times Conor McGregor has been beaten, it has been on the ground. Do you think that that's what's going to be on Rafael Dos Santos' radar, is just take him down and then control him?
Well, I think the thing about it is also ego. You talk about a guy who doesn't want to talk much. He's not getting into these arguments with him in the press conference. And if his ego gets the best of him, which is what Conor's trying to light up, he's going to try to box him. He's going to try to fight him because he's going to want to knock him out and embarrass him in front of everybody. The point is, he's not going to win that way. If he puts his ego to the side and doesn't want to embarrass, and he goes for the victory, he will take him to the ground, and he will be able to submit him.
Let me go.
I think that's the whole consensus right there that, if I'm going to fight Conor McGregor, I want to fight beating him at his best, and I'm going to go after him for the knockout. However, this reminds me of the old Tito Ortiz, Chuck Liddell. Tito Ortiz, being one of the best ground and pounders at the time, refused to take Chuck down. Instead, he wanted to knock out Chuck, beat him at his own game. I think we're kind of seeing a repeat performance of that.
I'm gonna go a little more in depth. As I look at Conor McGregor's record, he beat Brimage by TKO, Holloway by unanimous decision, and then right after that he went Brandao TKO punches, Poirier KO punches, Silver TKO punches, Mendes TKO punches, and Aldo KO punch. So he, in his mind, he's thinking, I got to take these guys out. None of that spelled being on the ground. And now you look at on Rafael Dos Anjos, his latest ones, where he beat Cerrone TKO by body kick. He had a decision fight against Cerrone previously. He beat Pettis by unanimous decision. So there's Pettis. He has some power. He's very athletic. He was only able to beat him by decision. He didn't take him out. Nate Diaz, unanimous decision. So those are two considered pretty formidable opponents, Pettis and Nate Diaz. All those went to was unanimous decision. He beat him, but he didn't take them out. And then Ben Henderson, he KO'd him in round one. So when I look at those, I'm just like, well, I mean, do I really think Cerrone? Everybody tries to say Cerrone. I've seen Cerrone for many years. He's a good fighter, but is he the high-level, high-ranked fighter? I don't think so. Pettis, to me, Pettis got mental. Nate Diaz has always come and gone. Oh, he has this potential. He's a boxer. I know boxing. He's not a boxer. He can strike decently, but he's not a boxer. Now, that's just a whole nother story. But as I look at the records, do you see anything that stands out in the records? Conor McGregor 7-0, and in his last few fights, he's been winning them all. Dos Anjos, he has a little streak going on there.
No, not really. Like I said, it's just the only thing that stands out to me is the 2 submissions on Conor, and that's what I think RDA is going to have to go for.
Okay, let me go into a specific sector. Let's go into Rafael Dos Anjos' losses, because Conor has a 7-0 UFC record.
Let me get you off here, Big Poppa. It's so simple. It's a setup fight. You mentioned those wins of RDA, how average they were, and now he's going to go up against one of the biggest lions in the UFC. It's a setup fight. Don't you see it?
If Conor McGregor wasn't so protected by Dana White, maybe this would be a fair fight. Maybe RDA wins. There's no way Daddy Dana's gonna send his little Conor McGregor to a fight like this and get beat. He's got too much money riding on this. It's an easy fight. Conor McGregor's gonna knock him out.
And now they're sending the phenom Lawler. Lawler's old. He hasn't put up a good performance in like 3 years. He's barely getting by. He doesn't know how to grapple on the floor. His punching power is gone. And now they're gonna give him McGregor, saying that Lawler's a bona fide champion. Of course not, but he will get his 3rd belt.
So then we're in full agreement here. I mean, I was just trying to give Rafael Dos Anjos, some kind of credit, but I'm calling out. I'm calling out that he will be the 3-title Emperor of the UFC. So you're saying this is a setup fight, and then he's going to go and get that welterweight title.
Hey, Poppa, you recall about 8 years ago we were talking to Dana White, what he said his wet dream was?
Remind us.
Do you recall?
I do not.
He can get.
What's that?
An Irish champion, somebody he can sell, somebody he can get behind, someone from his home country. He's got him. Do you really think he's not going to take him to brand new levels and give him everything he wants? Just out of that, you guys did a segment where you guys got a lot of crap because Amir Khan is going to challenge Canelo. No, he's not. Amir Khan's a step to the left, and everybody knows it. RDA is going to be a setup to Conor. There's a reason why Oscar De La Hoya is showing up to these UFC events. They're doing the same thing. They're mirroring each other. This is ridiculous. These are setup fights.
Well, I mean, I'm a boy.
Canelo beat Cotto. The Puerto Ricans were so mad at us when we said there won't be a knockout. Canelo's going to decisively win. It's exactly the way we said it. Setup fight.
I'm in total agreement. I mean, I'm totally saying he's gonna win. That to me, recently, his trainer, from McGregor's team, is already talking about the possible welterweight matchup. One thing that's been said recently by McGregor is that his belly is full every night. And I've seen a visual of him not long ago. He looks amazing. He's getting big. He literally filled in to this new weight. It's clear he didn't stay small. He now has mass. He looks like he has more power. To me, like you said, it's funny. We're just gonna have to fast forward this because I had a whole different view of how I was gonna go with this. But to me, the goal now is Lawler. I think in his mind, RDA is just done. It's an afterthought. I think he is gonna be. He's a big lightweight now. Now that he's eating, he's become a big lightweight. So I don't, because Rafael dos Santos, I got some of his comments where he's talking about. He's been saying that this is not the strongest fighter I've ever faced. He's not the toughest. He's not the biggest. He's had better opponents. According to him, this is an easy fight for him, and then he even says that tough fighters for him were Ben Henderson and Cerrone. And if he calls Ben Henderson and Cerrone like tough fighters, like that, there's something majestic, then he's in for a big surprise, because this isn't the smaller version McGregor. This is the McGregor who's been lifting more weights, that's been getting stronger, that's been eating, and now he's become a big boy. So whatever he was looking at was a smaller version of McGregor. Now this is a bigger version of McGregor. Honestly, I think this is a slam dunk.
Well, we're going to see how his weight, translates as he moves up. Some fighters can take it like Mayweather. He can take it all the way to 155 and he'll still be the strongest and the fastest. Sometimes you lose some power. Sometimes you lose some speed. Things will happen as he goes up. But the people he's fighting don't pose a threat to challenge him.
Okay, I'm going in a whole new direction now. I had a whole game plan, but you guys just completely, changed the whole direction of my talk, and I'm really glad you guys did. Let's look at their styles. Okay, so we have Conor McGregor. He's known for putting pressure, perfect timing, bullseye accuracy.
We're talking about a modern Mike Tyson here. What style? The fight's over in 30 seconds.
I agree.
You talk about style.
Okay, but for those people that aren't as knowledgeable as you guys,
you got to remember, Dana White comes from the boxing world. He knows that Mike Tyson was it for the 80s. He wants McGregor to be the it thing today. Do you really think we're going to see 3, 4, 5 rounds? Expose McGregor to getting hit? Expose McGregor to losing lifetime? That's not going to happen.
I mean, even for the UFC 200, go for the 170.
Exactly. He's going to fight in UFC 200. Do you really think this is going to be a 5-round, slobber fest? Of course not. This is going to be a quick fight.
Let me ask you something, man. Not that I want to derail you, but Crew and I were talking about this. So you're saying that Conor McGregor looks really good, and he's getting bulkier, and he wants to move up to 170 pounds, and he does it at 200. All the media here, and the general consensus inside the media is that he's running away from Frankie Edgar. Is it a smart idea for him to go to 170 and beat Robbie Lawler, then have a hard time dropping down to 145 and face a guy like Frankie Edgar, when everybody's saying he's running away from the way Danny Garcia ran away from Terrence Crawford and moved up in weight?
I would never go back down. The smaller guys bring nothing to the table. That would be like Mike Tyson going down to light heavyweight or even going down lower to cruiserweight. That's ridiculous just because he's 5'10". That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard if anybody says that. 100% you keep moving up. The higher you go in weight, the bigger you are, the more pay-per-views, the bigger the audience, the bigger the fascination. Everybody likes the big dog. Why would we want to go? If we could have a fight between pit bulls, why would we want to now pit the pit bull? Let's suppose he did win the pit bull championship and now he's gonna go fight a chihuahua. I don't think so.
Well, that's so true. He's got to move up in 170, and everybody wants to see this match against Lawler. But the same thinking is everybody thinks he's running away from Frankie Edgar.
And honestly, if I'm McGregor, does that mean anything to me? Not at all. That's like an afterthought. That's kind of like what what's his name? The guy's fighting against Canelo. Amir Khan's doing, just about making noise because he wants that big fight. Okay, there you go. You got it. It's gonna be a similar story. Amir Khan got the fight against Canelo, the big fight he's wanted. He didn't get Mayweather, but Canelo's pretty damn close. I say he gets that. Frankie Edgar is bidding for his opportunity, and of course he's gonna talk and he's gonna say, "Come and get me" and everything. I'm I'm him, I'm McGregor, why would I go down? Hell no. He it's hard to lose all that weight. It's tough. Even his trainer had said it's getting tough. We got to move him up. So just to go prove to the people, look, I could beat the little guy. No, I'll be more impressed if he beats the bigger guys. Easily more impressed than if he beats the little guys.
But why not take out Frankie Edgar and then move up in weight?
Because you know what? Because he does. Honestly, let's look at this business. I'm his manager. The numbers are not going to be there. If you only in the MMA world, maybe people that, because no disrespect to Frankie Edgar, I mean everybody who I know, even my best friends, I mean we've argued about this. I don't see Frankie Edgar as a finisher. Is he rugged? Yes. Is he tough? Yes. Is he strong? Yes. Is he a good fighter? Yes. But is he a finisher? I side with finishers all the time. I don't see him as a finisher. Has he earned that right to face a Conor McGregor, the Emperor of the UFC? Definitely not.
Well, but
now you got to pay your price of admission. You want to go see Frank Sinatra? You got to shell out the bucks. You got to go see Michael Bublé? You got to shell out the bucks. You want to go see Guns N' Roses, which I know you guys are going to go see. Hecklers, by the way, I'm hearing incredible things. I mean, I wish I could get in. I don't know how you guys are getting in, but kudos to you. But anyways, you want to go see GNR? You got to pay the big price. You got to pay the ticket. That's the same thing to me in this situation. You want to face McGregor? You got to be a big dog. You got to be in the big leagues. And to me, I don't think he's in the big leagues.
So I think if you want to be McGregor, you got to be able to make sure Dana knows he can beat you. Because if Dana knows that I can beat McGregor, I'm never going to see the light of day.
From the very beginning, Big Poppa, they were saying the only threat in that division was Frankie Edgar. He ran from him. You want to say he can't go back down, he's getting too big, blah, blah, blah. You're running from the only guy from the very beginning who could have beat you.
If that fight ever gets done, which I hope with all my heart that it doesn't, if it ever does, I mean I'm gonna personally pay for your flights, your hotels, and everything to get you guys here so we could talk. And I'm taking McGregor all the way. Are you guys taking the other guy?
It's obvious that they're running from him.
Wow!
Got that
so this is a whole new this is a whole new segment.
Could have beat McGregor, and like Danny Dana is gonna be protecting McGregor. He made sure he didn't fight him, and when Frankie was next, he jumped up and fought an easier RDA because Edgar would have taken him out.
You know the Irish Mayweather. I'm sorry, Conor McGregor, not Mayweather, because I feel like I'm seeing a rerun of Mayweather's whole career.
Well, you could call him the UFC Emperor because that's going to be his new title very shortly.
Now, the Emperor's already been taken by Fedor. So this guy, running around being protected by Dana.
Fedor, did Fedor ever fight in the UFC?
Of course not.
Okay, he never made it to the big league. So Fedor could have been the king of the jungle, but he never entered the real jungle.
Yeah, because Daddy Dana protected his heavyweight, and his organization lowballed him and wouldn't give him sufficient money to bring him over.
Not to mention when Fedor was heavyweight champion of the world, Pride was.
If I'm Daddy Dana, I ain't gonna pay a guy that's been out on the street out there doing his thing, winning street fights or wherever he's been, doing whatever the hell he's doing. No disrespect. Even I admired Fedor. Let me tell you this. Look, you guys know business, Hecklers, and I respect the hell out of you guys because you guys are usually on point and usually you even correct me. But when it comes to Fedor, I understand what you're saying about Fedor, but Fedor, he had the chance to do UFC. How much was he asking for?
The UFC greatest fighter in the UFC is who?
Considered the greatest?
The greatest. Yeah.
Is this the original UFC or the new UFC ones Fertitta and Dana?
Joe Rogan always brags about this.
I don't listen to Joe Rogan. He's a good announcer, but he just promotes. I don't take all the facts from him. I wouldn't know who is he.
The UFC promotes Anderson Silva as the greatest ever.
I don't know about that.
For the Octagon. Where did he come from?
Brazil.
No, he came from Pride.
Okay, Pride. Yeah, Pride.
Yeah. Okay, so Fedor being the heavyweight champion, the greatest heavyweight champion of all time, coming out of Pride when Pride at that time was bigger than the UFC.
But he never came and cleaned house.
He didn't have to clean house. He was at the big house. Just because they ended up putting up more money, it was based out of the United States.
So see.
UFC grew bigger than Pride.
Wow.
And when Dana stuck with down, Pride, he got knocked down by Quincy Jackson.
Wow, this is now, you guys. So now we have 2 new episodes that we just added to our list. So we're gonna have to go and talk about the little guy you guys want McGregor to fight, which I'm totally against. Now you guys are defending Fedor. Fedor's had all these losses against ridiculous fighters. How good could he be if he keeps losing?
At least he didn't dodge the fighters that move down in weight or move up in weight. He actually stayed in one weight and cleaned out the division.
Yeah, but
come on, when you're in your prime, that's where you judge your greatness. Fedor started getting knocked out towards the end of his career. That almost everybody in the sport does that.
Look, like I said, I got to do my research on Fedor, and that's so I could break him down and literally dissect him like I dissect all the fighters and find out where the holes are in him. I wasn't prepared for this, but you guys are bringing excellent points that I totally see where you're coming from, but I really can't counter on a lot of your points because I'm not prepared for in this particular segment. So. That being said, let's go back to Rafael. Do you think Rafael dos Anjos has any chance? I mean, let's look at his style. The only thing that he really brings, as I look at his fights, is aggressive, high volume in striking. He puts his opponents against the cage, has a lot of flurries, a lot of single strikes, good leg kicks to the body, and obviously he tries to get him on ground and pound. But that's what he's basically bringing it all to McGregor. He's going to try to take him out, no doubt. He's probably going to try to get him on the ground and dominating him. When you see the styles, what do you guys see happening? What do you think is going to happen? I have a prediction that I like to make. What is your prediction? Tell me what it is and why.
Well, the only thing that makes this fight interesting for me is that RDA was able to neutralize Pettis and was able to beat him to take the championship. Hence why we're having this fight with Conor. I don't think this fight would get made if they didn't really think Conor was going to win it and then have him fight in UFC 200, as they said, to beat the welterweight champion. So, I got Conor possibly first round KO, no later than 2 rounds.
My whole question comes around RDA. He followed the game plan that Clay Guida used to beat Pettis. So it's not like he developed his own game plan. So it's going to be interesting. This is the first time that nobody has a game plan for how to beat Conor except take him to the ground. Is he going to take him to the ground? I personally don't believe so. I think it's a good fight. RDA, all respect to him, he's a great fighter, but he's going up against the elite, and he's going up against somebody who Dana definitely wants to win, and it's just not going to happen.
The one thing that stands out to me in all of Rafael dos Anjos' losses, I'm not convinced by his fights against Cerrone, Nate Diaz, and Ben Henderson. Okay, he beat him, but something that stands out to me just loud and clear, and I know how much the subconscious remembers everything. He got KO'd by Stevens in his first time fight in the UFC. That was a while back, granted in 2008, but still, he has been knocked out. I look at McGregor, and all he's done is knock people out. To me, the X factor is honestly the psychological warfare. It's something that's not measurable. I don't know how much fear, if any of them have at all, but if you ask me, from looking at their interviews and looking at what they've been saying, to me it already sounds like, even though Rafael dos Anjos swears that he's not affected at all by McGregor's words, I think he has been, just by what he's been saying, that he's not the strongest, he's not the biggest, he's the easiest fight. He's gone as far as saying he's going to break his mind, he's going to break his will, he's going to jiu-jitsu him, he's not scared to, he even says he's not scared to stand up with him. He feels that Nate Diaz is a better boxer. Wow. In other words, he's trying to convince himself that McGregor is a lesser fighter. And to me, knowing a lot about psychology, he's already scared. I think he's trying to train his mind. What's going to happen when he gets hit really hard by McGregor left? Now, this is to me the real X factor. I already think McGregor won that war, but if you were to ask me what's my real prediction, what are my keys, why am I saying McGregor's going to win without a doubt? Because of his precision. If there's something I've learned through being in the medical world and studying a lot about surgeries and everything, precision means being exact, being accurate, and it being a fact. And the way he hit Aldo was boom, precision. Now he's been working on his ground game, and he used that word again, precise. All it takes is one false move by RDA. He could have him and do all this stuff to him and be freaking McGregor all over, throwing him over and everything, whatever. But as McGregor's just looking for one opportunity, and if he strikes with precision and exactness, he got him. Same thing on standing up. If he catches him like he caught Aldo with that pinpoint shot, that accuracy, it's over. So my prediction is that McGregor is going to be a skillful, strategic, precise matador, and RDA is the bull, and the bull is going down.
Sounds good. That's about right. That's what we got.
Anything else you have to add there, crew?
No, like I said, this is just a setup fight. It's entertaining. I'm on the Conor McGregor train. I love it. He's good for the sport, and I'm going to ride it as long as I can, because fighters like this come around every generation. We're not going to see another McGregor for a long time, so I'm going to enjoy it.
I'm going to ask you guys something. So to wrap it up, we're at 25 minutes, which is great. Final thing. Something I'm having that I haven't had in a long time. Are you guys having fun since McGregor came on the scene? Is he making it fun? Is he making the fight game fun? The combat sport fun?
I feel like I'm watching Mayweather, the sequel, but it's called Conor McGregor edition. Everything he's doing, the money, $20,000, they can't pay for a flight. It's like seeing Mayweather throwing money, doing his shopping sprees. I'm outspending Michael Jackson's kid. I've already seen this. He's late for press conferences. Mayweather was late for press conferences. He dodges fighters. He goes after. He moves up. He's going up for 3 weight division champion. Ooh, Mayweather was a 6th time. To me, I've seen it before. Is it fun for the UFC, who was getting a little stagnant? Yes, but they were relying on Rousey. Now they're relying on Conor. But it's just like seeing the whole Mayweather train again for me, personally.
Yeah, and let me give you a quote here. Who said this? Mayweather or Conor McGregor? Hard work pays, so take notes. Either one of them could have said it. McGregor said it last week. Come on, that's not a Mayweather quote. It's basically part 2.
Well, thank you very much for your time. I appreciate your comments, and we have future dates where we're going to talk about the current UFC welterweight champion. Once we get done with this one, we'll go on to that one, and I'll break that one down, and we'll also have another date to talk about Fedor and what you guys think he could have done in the UFC. Thank you very much for your time. We appreciate it, and we look forward to seeing you guys. And Hecklers, keep up the good work. You guys are awesome. Thank you very much.
All right, thanks a lot. Thank you, Poppa.